Here we go. So it starts off
Taco
with
Bell Villa Italian Mode.
Yeah, it starts off with a title, so he knew he was putting this up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like a new title. It's like HD.
Yeah.
So everything that you know from this point on is intentional. This person put this up on purpose.
Yeah, if you check the rest of his station or his channel, which you don't really need to do, he seems to just started YouTube and he just started updating or uploading like just weird home videos he has laying around. Basically, his name is Steve, and he is the cameraman in this Taco Bell video.
He shows up plenty, so don't think you're not going to get to see Steve. You get to see Steve.
Yeah.
The boss of this Taco Bell, apparently, I think that there's other bosses, but the boss who's most on screen is a boy just like the rest of them. He's a boy boss.
That was one of the first things I wanted to point out. I've had a few fast food jobs or bad service jobs. This is the only experience I've seen of a fast food place where there wasn't one weird old person hanging out. Like, this is all children in this. It's all teens making their dreams come true, basically.
It is. It's Lord of the Flies because this whole first segment they're closing up the restaurant and they kind of have the run of the mall, and no one's there to stop them, and they're all teens.
Yeah,
they're like they don't even have a beard yet. They don't have a whisker. Like not a single. There's not a single follicle in this whole opening segment. And this is the part. I assume you're seeing the restaurant right now. Yeah. This is great. So this is something I probably have to talk about this later on, but. So we're on the gray screen, the gray spot now. Maybe pause it here. Let's talk about this for a second. Hit pause. So prior to so this is 1990, which is effectively the 80s. Mm-hmm. Like by the time it's like how disco was still around in 1980. Like 1980 was still the 70s. 1990 is still the 80s. Like the way people look is pretty 80s. The way they're doing their hair, like Nirvana hasn't happened yet. Nobody's wearing a flannel. And prior to that time, fast food was hokey. It wasn't edgy and cool. You didn't get drunk and go to... Maybe you did, but it wasn't the same thing. They didn't have cool ads. They weren't being sarcastic online. None of that stuff was going on yet. Fast food was kind of like... It was made to be like an oasis for your family. It was brown, and brown as in like beige, like everything was really beige and brown and homey and kind of worn out and cheap, and it's totally different. I don't know how else to put it other than that it's not glitzy. There's no pop art. There's no there's no rap. Commercials. There's nothing. There's no jokes. There's no chihuahua. There's no irony or sarcasm. Fast food. Actually, so you found this video not long before this of 70s and 80s commercials for Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I'll probably try and post it in the same post on BorderBoss.rip because there's a spot in it where Ronald McDonald from I think the late 70s or something is hawking these reflective armbands.
Yeah.
So, and it's just aluminum foil. They wrapped soda cups in aluminum foil and called them Halloween safety armbands. So, get this foil off the cup and put it on your wrist. And it says something like, he says something at the end that's merciless. Like, don't let your kids die.
Yeah, dude, that's the other thing. It's not the Ronald McDonald I remember growing up with. It is just a guy who's like, hey kids, what's up? This is Ronald McDonald. And it's just like, that's not what Ronald McDonald
just put out a cigarette.
Like. Yeah. They just like found a guy on set and it was just like, you're going to be Ronald McDonald today.
Yeah. So this era is not what you think of anymore. Like you may not even be able to fathom the way fast food used to be. And I think that when you watch this whole scene with all the plants and all the neon and all this, the way this restaurant looks is basically how, Roy Rogers is on the highway look now or something like that. It's gone. This style is gone.
I do not remember. I mean, I guess I've seen some malls that have full fast food places in it, but not like this though. This is like, and I don't even know, do you think you're older and you've been going to Taco Bell longer? I don't think this is like a Taco Bell. I think this is just like a utility restaurant they made at the mall and like let anybody use it because it doesn't look like a Taco Bell, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I think that's part of it is that we need a wise older boy to call in because even this predates even my experience with Taco Bell because by the time Taco Bell landed in Albany, they were doing the Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yeah, that's what I remember, stuff like that.
Yeah, they were targeting youth culture. They were getting a little wilder. They were, they had the bell in the commercial, the dong at the beginning. It was all different by the time it hit Albany. This is prior, and this is when I think we found a JPEG somewhere where a guy is wearing a fake mustache, and someone posted underneath that's real. That it was for a while. It was real for the Taco Bell employees to wear fake bandito mustaches, and everything has got that 70s brown rainbow. It's just very brown, and there's plastic plants all over the place. So let's hit play again. Okay. We'll let it flow from here. But yeah, so basically this makes me feel a way because I didn't think of it until I watched this video. I watched this so now we're seeing the actual cameraman.
This
is Steve. He's a strapping young boy. He's got some charisma. He's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's kind of a funny kid.
He's in the dish pit of Taco Bell.
He's in the dish pit, which I never thought about. Yeah. I never thought about someone having to wash dishes at Taco Bell until this exact.
I don't think they do anymore. I think they just throw them out or something. I don't see.
Well, he's got all those little zigzag things that they make the tacos in, which I think are timeless.
I think they have somebody come in at night and do that for him or something. I don't know.
They just throw that out too. All the corrugated steel that they use to make everything gets thrown out, and new stuff comes in every night. So he's using the old, the actual, the movie style. When you see a dishwasher in a video, in a rock video or something like that,
There's going to be so many people out of sync already because we paused it for so long, and now we unpaused it.
Yeah, well, you should be at around 2 minutes 45 or so. 2 minutes.
I don't know
49.
how you're going to splice together this video. You just made it harder for yourself.
Listen, I know how to use Adobe Premiere. Okay. No fucking buddy knows.
Also, this is again 1990. I have no experience with Taco Bell, but it seems like they literally only make tacos at this Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mean at this time, if you look for the menus, I think that there's a schism somewhere. Okay, yeah. Whoa, we're going to something important. So kind of like Clerks, there's two sets. There's the cutlery store, and there's
Naked
the
Edge Cutlery. It's called Naked Edge Cutlery.
Naked Edge Cutlery. I love this. I love the cutlery store, and it comes back numerous times. So first of all, I don't know if there's a gun.
Yeah,
there's a gun.
That's Manager Dave, and he's holding a real-looking fake gun.
He's holding a legitimate Dirty Harry 357 Magnum up to a sleazy mustachioed man's cutlery store head.
And it's fine because it's 1990. No one cares.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, we weren't worried about guns back then because they hadn't gone off yet.
He has a shotgun now too.
Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. I didn't even notice that he had so many different weapons. Yeah. Okay, so here's Manager Dave's girlfriend. She's pretty cool. She has actual, this is proof of concept. She has very 80s hair.
She has a banana clip, which is not a thing.
She has a banana clip.
Women use anymore.
She has crazy earrings. So the cutlery store, first of all, you can't do this anymore. You can't have a single concept retail store that exists like this. No. You can't, because if you look on the walls, they're selling legitimate. They're selling Wusthof knives and kitchen knives and of course swords and other stuff. But this is an untenable business model now. Yeah. You can't have anything like this.
It's just like they show next door to Taco Bell just says flowers. You cannot open a store in the mall that just sells flowers. Also, if you notice real quick, if you look at the window, it says they deliver.
They deliver flowers from the mall.
No, the Taco Bell delivers.
Taco Bell delivers. Oh my god, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow, that would be a problem for me right now. That would be much fatter. So, Mike, did you ever go through a sword phase?
Like collecting them? No, not really.
I mean, did you ever even go through a sword where you went to, cutting edge cutlery and looked at a cool, two-handed?
Yeah, I've looked at it, and Joe, friend of the show, former bandmate, he had some katanas left at his house from an old roommate, and I took them, and I just had to leave them at my last apartment because I don't know the rules of traveling and moving cross country with katanas. So
I went through a real sword phase. I'm going to confess to you that I went through a legitimate sword phase and wanted to, I liked Akira Kurosawa movies when I was a boy, and I bought swords, and I didn't do anything with them. I didn't learn how to use them. But I wanted to. I thought that one day I would take, Aikido or something. But I had a whole bin of them in my apartment. Do you remember this? We're at an important part. First of all, we're looking at the mall directory, and savor this because I love mall directories.
Oriental Express.
But look at all the restaurants in this place. Sick. So Taco Bell, tacos, etc. So there's a rival grubby taco place. And I really, at first when they panned over, I thought I saw tacos, etc. 2 doors down, which would have been, holy crap. And it's not that though, but I'd love to know more about that because I don't think tacos now are kind of like a Thrasher skateboard. It's got kind of a cool thing, like you have an iPhone cover that has a taco on it. You might have a back patch of a taco. It wasn't that way in the 90s. It was taco night. It was hokey.
Yeah.
All this stuff was hokey.
This
wasn't a cool job. Like when you're watching this video, these kids didn't have like a cool. Nothing about this is cool. They had a crappy job that they were, just making do with.
Yeah, when I was growing up, we didn't have a Taco Bell in the mall, but we had a place called Taco Time. And it was one of those places that never had a line because, like, it wasn't a cool thing. So yeah.
This Taco Bell's clean as hell other than the decorations, which you can't keep clean. They have actual, mom and pop Mexican store, Mexican restaurant
and
decorations
a lot of plants,
hanging everywhere.
Many plants.
So many plants. Nobody does this. But this came back to me. I watched this. It's like, oh my god! I remember when fast food places would have those islands.
Yeah.
That were just a giant hollow place to plant a bunch of plants. And who dusted those or watered those or if they're plastic, who cleaned them? If they're real, who watered them?
I don't know. I forgot to mention that this first segment of the video takes place at closing time at Taco Bell. So they're dicking around a lot because there's no they can.
Yeah, I mean, in panning back conceptually, first of all, this is a really nice camera.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good videography. It's pretty good clarity, and it's 1990. And at this point, this means he had to have had about a $17,000 camera.
Yeah, seriously, man. There's a part like later on where some guy says, "Are you doing this for school?" So it made me think maybe he got this from school,
right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the AV club. Yeah. My school didn't have this kind of camera.
No, definitely not.
For just taken out. So this Taco Bell is super clean. It's super this is a different era. I don't know if it's like this anymore. I don't know if you go to a fast food place at closing time and it's spotless, but it's spotless. And let me finish my story real quick while they're in a lull. So I had a lot of swords, and I went through a party phase in my early 30s. It's much too old. And I would have people over to my giant warehouse apartment that I talked about a few episodes ago, and people could have sword fights. And throw swords at the wall and go at a piñata with a sword and all other stuff. And then I got embarrassed about it and I wanted to get rid of him. So I posted on our old message board, which is still around. Oh, now you know his name, Steve Almquist.
Yep.
There's this paycheck. They talk about their pay and salary several times in this, which I thought was forbidden. So on the 518tourism.com board, which is still around, go sign up and you talk to basically me at this point. There used to be a poster called The Professor, who was an odd man. I didn't know him, but you know him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I have a bunch of swords I want to give away. And he said, I'll take them. So I just left them on my back porch. I left like a Home Depot bucket of swords on my back porch. And the Professor in the dead of night came and I never saw him. I don't know what he looks like to this day.
That's pretty
But
great.
if you're out there, Professor, if you've been lurking podcast down and listening to Border Boss, you have my swords.
So now they're taking out trash or something. This part's kind of boring. This is one of the very few boring parts. Although there's a bunch of piñatas hanging out for some reason.
Right. So there's real piñatas. So think about that. Taco Bell was in this era. If you didn't participate in the taco experience at this time, they were actually still trying to be Mexican food.
They're trying to trick people.
Yeah, they're trying to trick people and trying to ride that feeling that this was, legitimate Mexican cuisine. I didn't know that. I've never seen that at any point other than having a Chihuahua as a mascot, which was pretty sketchy. So, did you ever work in a mall?
No, I've never worked in a mall. I've worked in like a strip mall, but not a legit mall.
Yeah. This whole scene is a dream come true because I always wanted to know about all the sort of tunnels and passageways. I've never had access to them. I've never had a mall job. I was a mall rat, but I, hung out at the mall. Eventually, we'll get to that because that's a long time ago. I used to do a segment on here called what the hell was it called? Whatever it was. When I talked about the restaurants I used to go to way too often. In the mall, we went to the mall all the time. I used to eat at One Potato too. and I want to talk to you about one potato too at some point. So now we're looking out at a parking lot, and it's funny. Like, so, first of all, I'm not one of those people who watches dead mall videos or goes to dead mall websites, but I kind of want to. And I don't understand how you got away with naming a mall Villa Italia. That's a weird name.
Yeah. I feel like back in the day, that was the deal in malls. They all had weird names like that.
I guess, like, all the malls around here kind of had a mall. Like, well, you know, that's true, because we had Mohawk Mall, which is sketchy.
Yeah.
Like, when you dial that back a little bit and think about it, that's not right. But we also had, like, the Pyramid Mall, the Aviation Mall. You know, like, we have these kind of grand names. Like it was a broad new horizon to go shop at Lerner's in the mall or whatever.
I get the vibe that this is probably an old mall too. Like this was not a new in 1990 mall. I feel like this is one of the early malls.
Mm-hmm. One of the running gags in this is that people come to this Taco Bell just to piss.
Yeah.
They talk about it frequently. They'll see people coming in and they'll be like, so are they coming to use the bathroom or are they coming to order a taco?
Yeah. This part
did you...
What?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this part is.
Did you and your friends have the concept of scum love?
What do you mean?
Like when you saw two people who were just making out at the mall, their dirt stashes intertwining, and you know, like way too much PDA.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. That's what this. They're both chewing Twizzlers, Dave and his girlfriend, and he like kisses her, and that's such a teen move. It is like a total teen move because you cannot do that as a grown up.
His girlfriend is straight out of a catalog, and I think that this video is across multiple days. She's always wearing this outfit.
It goes. Yeah, I think she is. And Dave is kind of a nerd, I would say, and his girlfriend seems to be like, you know, a prime catch of whatever high school they go to. Yeah. So he really lucked out. That manager at Taco Bell holds a lot of clout in Lakewood, Colorado, I guess.
Lakewood, Colorado. No escalator at this mall, just straight stairs. Oh, there's the escalator. I'm wrong. So Dave, I love the way he wears his hat.
Yeah.
And it's consistent. Every scene you see Dave, he looks like someone who flipped his Camaro and has a head injury, and he's not allowed to put a hat on all the way.
I think he just has a lot of hair. We never see what's under the hat, but I just imagined he had a lot of hair.
The hair in this whole video really drives home that this is still the 80s, effectively, which we'll get to when we dig into Raj.
You gotta get this Taco Bell keychain he has. That is like the official Taco Bell pendant.
Yeah, man. I don't think anything cool is being given out as a utility item, and that's a beautiful engraved. I'm going on eBay as soon as we're done recording. It's like a beautifully engraved. So now this kid's walking out. Look at him. This kid. Let's go back to last episode. This kid dresses like Knocked Loose.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is the thing, is that right now, if you're a younger person and the way that you dress right now, you're dressed like one of the dorks from our era. Yeah. You know, you're dressed like Screech Powers. You're dressed like a nerd. And you know, if you're wearing like those weird stonewashed jeans that cinch at the ankles and some kind of like dad sneakers and like a Ocean Pacific t-shirt or something like that, you're one of the nerds of our era. You weren't going to the dances or anything like that. You weren't playing sports.
Just like this kid.
Yeah. This kid's cool though. You know, he's got like all the people in like all the main characters of this. Oh Jesus. So we had a little Lady and the Tramp moment going on where manager Dave and his girlfriend just ate a Twizzler together and kissed.
Yeah.
Very sexy. There's the glass bricks. I like that. Colorful glass bricks.
There's no signage that you see that proves anything costs over 99 cents at this point. That is the highest signage I've seen. And that might even be something that says 3 for 99 cents, actually.
I love how much was still invested in fast food restaurants at this point, because there's crazy neon signs that are working.
Yeah.
You know, they're not half burnt out. They're not filthy. They're not, you know, flickering. There's neon signs all over the place that are fully functional. My mall actually did have real restaurants like this.
No,
several of the malls had them. We had a Burger King that was super elaborate and it had like the pit.
Huh.
You know, like where you step down into like a big circle pit.
Yeah.
To dine.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
Oh man, all this stuff we had. There used to be like really fancy McDonald's at the mall, and it holds up that you would go into that McDonald's to take a leak.
Yeah, we had like a food court, and there might have been a couple standalone restaurants, but I don't even think there was that. There might have been like some bandit restaurants, but nothing like a Taco Bell.
It's another thing that I want, we're 70. I want an 80-year-old to tell us if the food court is a new concept. I mean, I've seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's early 80s, and there's a food court.
Yeah.
So it had to have existed, but there was still fully operational standalone restaurants at this point in almost every mall, when the mall was a big deal still. I don't know is this so we're getting some sweet bathroom footage. I don't think it's this point. Did they get to the break room yet?
No. They're just showing the ladies' bathroom and what it looks like. It just looks like a
bathroom is no great
and
shakes.
They don't,
like this is.
I guess one of these kids had to clean this bathroom, but they don't show that part.
Yeah, it actually opens with, I can't remember the name of the other nerdy kid, but he's talking about how he's going to go clean the toilets off the clock, which is that's a hellscape.
Yeah, all these kids seem to be like very good friends. Like they probably hang out outside of Taco Bell.
Even when they run into people who aren't part of this little clique, they're friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, time doesn't move that slow. We were assholes when I was a kid, and I was a kid during this era. I don't know why these kids are so. And maybe it's Colorado. Maybe because they're up in the mountains.
Yeah, I think this is
thinner air.
The West Coast as a whole, or like just that area of the country is a little nicer than us.
So we're in the break room now. They show you the break room, and I don't know. I've never worked at like a crappy little restaurant, but this is pathetic. This is like really depressing. That when you get your break, you go sit in a utility closet on a folding chair. Like my defining job when I was a kid was working at Price Chopper, which is a big, it's a big store. So we had a big break room, with resources inside of it.
No, I've been in many a break room, like the one in the Taco Bell.
Oh, this is horrible. Yeah. It's. I wouldn't take my break there. I would just go kill myself. I would go just drown myself in the slop sink.
The kid they just showed for like 2 seconds is probably the oldest boy in this, and he's probably maybe 18 or 19. Yeah.
There's an Easter egg later on where a much older boy shows up.
I think he's he's like the boss or something. He has to be.
Yeah. He just shows up for his 5 minutes a week that he checks in on all the 14-year-olds that run his restaurant. Yeah.
I'd like to know if Dave and his girlfriend are still together. I'd like to do some detective
I really
work.
want to know about it.
Yeah. I'm going to say no.
Dave had the brightest future. Dave is a 12-year-old boy who runs an entire Taco Bell by himself.
No supervision.
Yeah.
This is like a whole Bugsy Malone.
Ryan Gosling just showed up in character.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Like they said that these are the people that train them. So these are just the moguls who I guess are Taco Bell lords, but don't have to work there. They just show up in actual, like the wedding singer costumes.
The guy's wearing a vintage Bart Simpson T-shirt.
I don't even think it's a bootleg.
Well, also, I'd like to mention how cool their cash register, their computer terminals look. It's like I don't know. It's for 1990. That is like the height of futurism. I think this is like the height of technology. Is these cash registers?
It's another thing I want to look on eBay for because it's so custom.
Yeah.
There's some sort of colorful panels on either side of this little terminal. It's made specifically for Taco Bell. Whatever this thing is. And they're fine with it. They just, to them, it's just a tool for the day. This Star Trek device that they use.
There's also a lot of just handling meats and foods and using the cash register. And, they showed the service station. It's pretty gross.
Money.
So as much as the restaurant is clean, the service station still looks like it was run by teens, basically.
Well, they goad each other on about speed at various points. They give each other crap about not making their 2.9 perfect tacos fast enough.
And
so
another thing is they only refer to it as the Bell. They don't say Taco Bell. They only say the Bell.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a pejorative at this point. They're kind of making fun. They're not really.
Yeah.
It's not endearing. There is one of the signs is broken. So
this is Cliff. Cliff, it looks like the coolest kid. He probably was a real badass. He was fucking slamming that sliz in whatever high school they went to.
Cliff is an actual Ninja Turtle. His eyes are so stoned. He has the coolest girlfriend. He can't be unstoned. He physically can't be unstoned. He has the Camaro mullet. He would show up for picture day in a red turtleneck with a cross gold cross hanging over it. His car is clean as hell. It's not in the video, but you can tell by looking at him. Cliff is different. He doesn't even have to work. He comes in and brags about his salary. He's not even working. He never shows up once. Cliff is so sweet. He just draws the salary from this Taco Bell without even showing up for a shift.
He just probably came in to get free food for him and his girlfriend.
Like, give him my check. Give me an enchilada and my check, and this is my girlfriend. She's a foot taller than him. Yeah. He's the smallest boy,
and she's like
he's still
20, and it's fucking Cliff, man. He's slamming.
And she has that Topanga from Boy Meets World's haircut, which is it's great. He's living the dream. Every now and then they'll actually show the restaurant and there's people at it and it's disorienting because, oh yeah, Raj. I'll talk about Raj later. So there's a man in this video now. So they do some skits.
Yeah.
They do some Star Trek skits.
Before we forget, though, he's holding up Taco Bell olives. Do you remember a time when Taco Bell used olives on anything?
Yeah, they used to put in olives on, at least on the Mexican pizzas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They used to put them on.
That's right.
They used to put them on top of the enchiladas in the beginning. I don't know if they got caught in the whirlwind of the E. coli scare, or
because I remember
what,
when I was young, my mom put olives on Taco Bell, so I thought maybe she got it from Taco Bell.
Yeah, no, you could ask for extra olives and everything. It was part, and I didn't like olives, so to me that was just a hassle. Now that they're gone, I miss them. So there's a guy named Raj who just showed up, and he couldn't be named anything other than Raj.
Yeah, he looks like
he has
like an '80s movie sidekick, basically.
Yeah, he's an '80s movie sidekick. He's either the drummer in the area's #1 like Poison cover band, or he's a full nerd, like a really, really, really awful nerd, because he has a fluffy, permanent wave, side swoop haircut with a ponytail pulled out the back of his hat.
Oh, Cliff is
combing his mullet.
Combing his hair, like you do when you're fucking cool.
Did you're slightly younger than me. Did you grow up with actual mullets in your school, like fluffy mullets?
No, I didn't go to school with enough white people at that point.
Oh, right, you went to like a non-white school.
There was by the time I went to a school with white people, they were into there was rat tails, and there was spiky hair, but no mullets.
And samurai haircuts and stuff. Well, it was totally normal. You would wear really tight jeans, but you had to stuff a giant brush into your back pocket. When you had that fluffy mullet, it was totally normal to whip out like an enormous, like Dwayne Reed, like one of those huge brushes. And I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really that kind of dude, even though I was a mullet. I wasn't that kind of mullet. And I don't know how you sat down, because it was sizable. It was like carrying like a frying pan or something in the back of your tight jeans.
So Dave was using tortillas that looked burrito size. So I guess they had burritos too.
Yeah, they had burritos and tacos, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they had the beefer. Every now and then they'd have the beefer.
Yeah, it must be weird when your boss is the same age as you and you could just film in Taco Bell. Like, I don't think I think you would be on Yelp in seconds if you walked into a fucking Burger King and somebody was just filming you. Like that would not fly.
No, and especially with whatever equipment he's using, because this is pretty good quality.
Yeah,
so it's something
so
that's
bulky. Yeah,
it's something that's it's the size of at least a cat, if not
at least
not a briefcase.
My uncle bought a camera around this time, and it was like $1,800. So
yeah,
yeah.
Well, Steve, there's not a lot to do in this town, so Steve may have just been pocketing all those $130 paychecks for. At least 10 weeks. We're a little bit of a lull here. This video is kind of incredible because there's a little bit of a narrative that happens to it as it goes along. Oh, this guy's great. Yeah. It's like some sort of like large customer. Did you work at places that nagged you about your appearance through posters?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I didn't. At the time I thought it was stupid, but yeah, we are dealing with teens all day, so it makes sense.
You got it.
Yeah.
Like it totally makes sense to me in retrospect. At the time, it was super corny and annoying. But I'm like, oh man, if you didn't actually put up these posters, teens would just show up naked.
Yeah.
But I worked at like a men's fine clothing store with a man who looked like Lando Calrissian had been put through a cardboard baler. He was really squat and wide, but he looked exactly like Billy D. Williams. And I used to try and get away with wearing like ragged cargo pants with my dress shirt. And I remember one time he just like he met me at the door and put his hand on my chest, almost like a Joe Rockhead or something like that. Like he just pushed me back out the door and said, "Too rough, too rough. Go home."
Wow.
I didn't think I was pushing it that far, but I had pushed him to his limit. Too rough.
You should have just been
And he was
fired.
smoking. He was smoking in the store at the time.
Oh my god. This
is some of the only food you see ordered.
This was probably a time when you could still smoke in the mall, so it's really surprising that we don't see anybody smoking in the Taco Bell, which would have been amazing.
I didn't think to look around and see if there's those little tin ashtrays.
Yeah.
Sometimes on eBay you see those little tin ashtrays. That was the only food that you see ordered in the video that I remember. A woman comes in and just orders like a soft taco for her and her boy.
Yeah.
One soft taco.
We're gonna share. We're gonna share this one soft taco. This guy, his kid, he is. Oh, this is Steve. He's speeding along with those very horrible looking tortilla chips.
This is our host.
Yeah.
He's quick though, because there's a part where he like whips out all these little like sheets or something that like little wrappers, and he's like wham 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 wham.
Cliff doesn't give a shit.
But all day long,
yeah,
Cliff never goes. Yeah. Cliff and Topanga never leave the restaurant. There you go, $59, $79, $99.
Yeah.
You can still find those commercials by the score.
So what was 90? It would have to be 2 burritos?
It would be like the Burrito Supreme. Okay. It would be like the top of the line Burrito Supreme would have been the 99. And when I was young, it was 69, 89, 109.
Yeah.
And whatever. I talked about him in an old episode, but his name was like T Clemens or something. It's just he's a guy who's known. He had a real career that devolved into just doing Taco Bell commercials. But they're great.
Yeah,
they're great Taco Bell. That's not a bad thing.
There's a lot. There's not this the way the counter is set up. There's no allusion to Taco Bell. Like you can, if you're ordering, you can see everything that's going on, which is not something you could get away with at a fast food place today either, because you don't want to see what's going on.
No. Yeah, even now they kind of turn the workstation sideways, so you can't exactly see how they're like pissing and spitting in your in your food.
Now Steve is just illegally filming a child, and no one cares. His mom doesn't care.
Radically different era, because you could film a child.
Some woman.
Every now and then, Steve follows a woman around with his camera too, which is
of course,
that escalates.
I wish he would just freeze frame on the menu, but he never does.
I want this whole thing to have a lot more. I want to be able to enhance, and zoom in on so many things in this. Like really, the greater. Here's me. Here's me. So I didn't catch his name, but a guy just walked in who was actually me in high school.
There's a guy at the end video, and I was gonna ask if that was more your style, but I guess it's this guy.
This is basically. I mean, I didn't dress. This is like me on picture day, because he's got a collar on.
This guy is such a nerd, and the kid with the camera he says he looks like Dan Marino, and I think that's like one of those backhanded compliments where he's just like, you're a fucking ugly nerd, but I'm just gonna say you look like this cool guy.
So it's pretty cool because this guy looks like me, and I was a loser. Like he's hefty, he's got gravity to him, but he seems to have it together. He's got some confidence, and then in a minute he brags about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
My girlfriend got me this, Kmart watch. So he had it all figured out. So he looked like me. He had my body and my hair and my countenance, but he was, nailing it.
Yeah, he was.
He was probably having coitus, not me. But if you put a Testament hat backwards on this guy, that was me, and I made it myself. I made my own Testament hat. We finally see some food.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know what they called it back then, but that's basically the enchilito. But I think that he may have gotten something special from.
This is a secret menu,
Steve.
Yeah.
Because he says it's the Steve special. So I think he basically, said, "Hey, Steve, make me the enchilito, but 4 times as large." Because it's an impressive item.
Yeah, there really is no room in the back in this Taco Bell. It's just.
Yeah, it's like if you see like a stage set, and when you walk beyond the door, and you're just at a brick wall.
Yeah.
That's it. This place is just it ends.
It's pretty tiny. I didn't think to look up to see if this mall still existed. I'm sure it doesn't, but if it still existed, and if the Taco Bell is still in it.
I kind of wanted to leave the whole thing a little bit of a mystery till later, because I don't know. This guy just started basically uploading stuff kind of like this actually just showed up like a month ago.
Yeah, I subscribed to him, and I was like, maybe I don't want to get that close to the sun just yet, because I don't know what the real Steve A will think of if he ever hears this commentary. He might think it's cool. He probably will think it's real weird, I would assume.
I think he's going to be disappointed by the ending. He uploaded this, so that's on him. But this is cool. Like, you don't see... I don't do a lot, despite the fact that I'm internet-y and I'm online all day, I don't do a lot of things like looking at Taco Bell internet. And I don't go on YouTube and look for old Taco Bell. But I don't think there's a lot like this. I don't think there's just day-to-day... There's Raj, my guy Raj. I don't think there's a lot of day-to-day, like day in the life of a Taco Bell.
Yeah,
stuff.
Raj definitely looks like
prime.
Either he was a breakdancer or his mom made him play the flute, or the recorder all through high school. Like, you can't tell.
He's exactly on the horizon of either the coolest dude at his school who was stacking moms or the actual band geek. But he has, so when I was young, we had a friend who was kind of like, well, not a friend, we had an acquaintance like this, and his name was Sage. His actual given name was Sage. And he had long, cool hair and a mustache, so we kind of wanted him to be in our circle, but he was standoffish and strange. And it was the same way that Raj is like tabula rasa. You ask Raj a question, you make a joke with Raj, and he doesn't know what to do with it. They're always trying to kid around with Raj, and he doesn't know what to do with it. He's good-natured about it, but he doesn't know how to escalate the joke or finish the punchline or do anything with the material you hand him. That was Sage. We'd bring our camera around and we'd start asking Sage, like surreal questions and like making weird references at him, and he'd just look at us like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you guys mean by that?
I also wanted to mention before I forget, Danny was the person who found this video, so thank you, Danny, for finding this video. I wanted to give him some credit.
Thanks, Danny. Anybody who isn't really into this format of Border Boss, go fuck yourself. But this is like all I care about.
This is the most Danny. Excited I've been about a podcast in a very long time. Because otherwise when podcasts do audio commentaries, I'm like, that's a bad idea. But I've never discovered such a gem on the internet where it just needed to be talked about.
Yeah, you do it like a commentary on a movie. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
I can find a movie.
Yeah.
No, not a lot of people. How many views is it? This has 151 views. That's criminal. This video has 151 views.
Yeah.
If I don't look back at this video after this podcast launches and see at least 154 views, I'm going to be very disappointed.
This is a thing this is definitely a video that could end up on, one of those hip sites, like, it's one of those blogs, and people pick it
Eater.
up, and an Eater or fucking BuzzFeed or something like that. And it could blow up, so you guys are on the ground floor right now if you hear this in a timely manner.
You'll be able to roll your eyes when someone posts this to your feed. Hey, check this out.
Yeah, when your mom posts it to your feed in 1 year, you'll be like, I saw that a year ago.
I already heard the audio commentary. This will also be our first official YouTube.
Yeah.
So now the coolest guy in the clique shows up. The actual Bender, the Breakfast Club Bender, who brings a pistol
but it's fake
to work.
It's a fake gun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a fake gun.
I'm glad you're confident that he brought a fake pistol to work. It certainly looks, it's at least Entertech level.
Maybe this is for real, like Children of the Corner, Bugsy Malone, and like this town is just children run everything, and
it's a wasteland.
It's an open carry town, so even children are allowed to carry guns. Maybe that's what it is.
That's true. This is one of those crazy states. Like they have legal weed and everything, but it's one of those crazy libertarian states.
Yeah.
So these kids could be just straight packing. No big deal. And at this point, right around here, Steve makes a sleazy comment about this boy sleeping with someone else's girlfriend on camera, and he rolls with it. Like, they say something like, what are you going to say when her husband shows up? And he goes, move over.
Yeah, that's
cool,
exactly.
man.
I have the captions on, but it's auto-generated, so they're not accurate. Man, they just showed that they flashed to the floor for a second. It was so gross. near the workstation.
Yeah, daytime Taco Bell Lakewood is not the same as nighttime Taco Bell Lakewood. And this is towards the end of the day because they're putting the chairs up, which I don't see that much anymore. I mean, they don't really have chairs. They have things that are all nailed down and bolted down.
They make it as easy as
chairs.
possible. So children can run Taco Bell now, but they don't.
So now we're looking at Cutlery World, and I think I see more handguns on the wall.
Yeah. So maybe they are guns. Maybe they're real guns.
Lakewood, Colorado is the scariest town in America. Every place you go in their mall, some child has a pistol.
Yeah. So this is where they start dropping how much they're making, I think. This is where they start sharing their salaries, which is real weird.
Yeah, they're bragging to each other about the salary and how they make it, a few dollars different from each other. Never really dawned on me to do it. Although I will say that when I started at Price Chopper, I was making fully 50 cents an hour than anybody else because I was what was called a cart hop or a car hop. They wanted me to forcibly make moms allow me to push their cart out to the car. They wanted me to grab the cart from the mom and say, well, let me help you with that, ma'am.
Man,
whether they liked it or not. And the reason that job doesn't exist anymore is that they put special needs people on that role as well. So they let people who had emotional problems, they commanded them to sort of forcibly push themselves on moms and grandmoms and demand to push the cart out to the car. And it resulted in literal attacks. Like some of the people who had really deep problems started just attacking customers.
That's terrible.
It was like Jurassic Park.
I remember we used to do that when we were little to make money. We would help older people with their groceries to the car.
They tried to build. So we're back at Cutlery World. First of all, there's just a saw.
Yeah.
There's just a saw on the wall.
There's all types of. Yeah, those are fucking real guns, man. Holy shit. Maybe they're paintball guns. Oh yeah, there's paintball things right near it. But that wouldn't explain the revolver, though. Those might be real-ass guns.
This almost looks like someone just made it up as they went along, because if you look behind them, there's butterfly knives and the Cobra.
But then there's steak knives.
From the movie Cobra,
there's
scary, attack knives, but mixed in are steak knives.
Yeah.
So it's steak knife, killer, murderer knife, steak knife, machete from Friday the 13th, steak knife, rifle.
Yeah, it's like he started off with a few knives and never thought about the layout of the store and just kept on adding as he got them.
Wherever there was room, he stuck a butterfly knife or a Batman two-bladed whatever, or a cyber katana.
There was a Taco Bell employee who possibly had a child, but I'm going to assume that child was not his, but that's what it looked like.
It's part of life when you're growing up in a town with no adults. You have to procreate.
Yeah. The only adults work at Naked Edge Cutlery. Those are the only adults.
The glasses that are on screen now also further prove my point that this is still the 80s, because he's wearing... who's the guy? Terry Richardson. He's that terrible photographer or whatever who wears,
Yeah.
He wears shop teacher glasses or whatever.
So they were really taking the shotgun off that wall and fucking around with it, man. 1990, man.
You could just go into Cutting Edge. You can go in the cutlery store, yank a rifle off the wall, and play with it. In 1990.
Yeah.
They didn't have that. I mean, that wasn't happening in Albany. I used to hang out at the cutlery store, at the cutlery stores in the mall.
I don't think there were in Connecticut or anywhere in tri-state area you're allowed to sell guns in the mall. It's definitely some kind of thing that we're not used to.
The thing that I always liked about cutlery stores, and this kind of holds up because if you look around, the decor is pretty ad hoc. They just put up whatever poster they had or whatever decoration they had. It's always run by a guy who's halfway between really being into Native American stuff and really wanting you to know about that he's into POW MIA flags.
I went to one of these stores last year, and it was kind of off of a rest stop, and it was me and my friend Joe. And they followed us, the one guy that was there, this is in the daylight, it was honestly 11 a.m. and he followed us around like we were gonna steal everything. It was so weird. We're fucking adults, man, but I think he was just sick of kids coming in there and ironically laughing at all of the 5-bladed swords he had. So
yeah,
he just, if he could tell you're not serious about swords, he's just gonna follow you around until you fucking leave.
You had to have the look.
Yeah.
Did you ever go through a knife phase, Mike?
Nah, there was like times where I thought about it, but I'm just not really. I don't know.
There was a good window where me and my best friend Jay just thought it was like hilarious to punctuate everything we said by flicking out a knife. We had those like thumb open, those tactical knives, and we would use them for work and stuff like that. But basically, every time someone said something to us, if we wanted to be like funny, we would whip out a knife and flick it at them, like all the time. Nobody ever liked it.
I think that's the same exact map from the mall I grew up in. Like, I guess these were all the same all over the country, which is crazy. Yeah,
there's actually I don't want to push anybody into watching anything, but there's a show called Adam Ruins Everything, and they do an episode on the mall. It's interesting because the mall, the reason that we have malls was a giant tax dodge from like the 60s or something. Yeah. There was this crazy real estate tax dodge. So it's basically like just a couple companies stuck these malls all over the place because it was a way to like hide your money. So that's why everything looks the same.
I just want to mention they ran into some kids at the Orange Julius, and it's very compelling to me because I can't tell if they're genuine bullies or they're cool. Like, like the cameraman and the kids are cool with each other because they seem like they might be actual television bullies, and it's pretty cool.
For the most part, everybody's good-natured in this video.
Yeah.
Like all these guys, they don't really, when I worked at places, you would find a victim and you would tear them down.
Exactly.
And there's not a lot of that going on. Yeah, these guys are lovey. And even when the guys show up who aren't part of the clique, it's all still like, hey, man, ain't seen you in a while.
I think so. That's the older boy, I believe, right? Like, they just showed for a second.
Oh, no, this is the older boy. Ray Romano, ladies and gentlemen. If this man is still living, so did they just flip him off?
Yeah.
So if this man still lives in Lakewood, Colorado, and if he's still working at Taco Bell, that's one thing. Otherwise, he remembers to this day that he sat in a broom closet and was harassed by teens. Because there's a point at which they come in and say, like, look at you, you're in here hiding out from your wife. And he's just like, he still acutely remembers being bullied by the nicest 14-year-olds in Lakewood, Colorado to this day, no matter what he's doing right now.
Oh, is this? I can't. No, I thought this was where the person I thought was you popped up, but it's not.
Me now is in this video.
Oh, okay.
And it's not good. It's not a good thing. So we'll get there when I talk about it. Basically, I've just let my hair grow for the past year, and it's disgusting. And I have a big Frankenstein forehead, so it's even more. It's just revolting.
Okay, so I have some breaking news. I was correct. This mall was built in 1965, so that would make it one of the first malls. And it closed down 2001, so no more Taco Bell.
So we are enjoying a dead mall video, effectively. You get a good shot, good shot of the register here.
Yeah, and it's like I remember Burger King and McDonald's always having those multicolored things for idiots, but the way it's set up on the computer is so fucking crazy.
Yeah, why is there two sides to it?
Yeah, so
it's like, really odd.
It's like some
they expected their employees to be lawnmower men with two hands on the register.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
This is a scene where I kind of dial in on the idea that Raj is a nerd.
That Taco Bell apron would probably be a pretty good souvenir too.
Yeah, he's wearing an apron that has a cactus, and it's like a heart shape almost, but with a cactus and maybe a sunset or something. It looks homemade.
Very southwestern too.
Yeah. It doesn't look. It looks like he made it himself, but I think I saw it elsewhere in the video too. So I don't know. So this is weird because all of a sudden there's all these new employees and all these people who they're non-player characters.
Yeah, this is like another day.
You don't get to interact with them. You don't get to. Here he is. There's Ray Romano.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
This is the only adult. But all of Lakewood.
But by adult, he's probably like 22 though. He's not that old.
But he's the kind of 22 that looks 42.
Yeah, like he was like the first boss I had at Pizza Hut, and he was like 26, and I was like, whoa, you're like the fucking oldest guy.
Yeah.
But he's 26.
I don't ever like to think back on the bosses that I harassed and thought were old men when I was a kid, because I'm twice their age at this point.
He was cool. His name was Steve, just like this video. He was cool, but every once in a while we'd fucking bust his balls like this.
The thing I like about the two sort of main characters in this is that they both have this like John Wayne, Michael Shannon delivery. It's like they came from another place, another planet, and they're really good at English, but very slowly. So they have this like slow drawl. And everything they say is kind of funny, but it takes so long to get to. I would love to find one of these Taco Bell cups, by the way. I don't think they're hard to find, but if you ever see that painting, there's a painting of like a Taco Bell 12-pack or a 10-pack flying over the desert. It's one of the greatest paintings that's ever, it's the Starry Night of my life. But like it's from that era of, if you need to see this painting, just DM me or find me on the streets, because I'm going to show it to you.
So now we're getting in the home stretch here. There's about 6 minutes left, guys. That's all you have to put up with. 6
minutes left, but it builds.
Yeah.
Like I think that there's multiple parallels to Clerks. Aside from the fact that that this is just it's day in the life of a shitty job, but it also has two sets. There's two different stores. Two kind of main characters that clown off each other. But then it also, it kind of like spins up towards this, dark finale.
That I missed the 2 times I watched this video, so.
Well, I mean, so a serial killer just walked into frame and gave you the actual, like, the last thing you'll ever see.
He did look like David Berkowitz, so that might be him.
Yeah. Now you get some really good shots of all the foliage that they would have at fast food places in this era. A serious time capsule, and they're back where the food is prepped.
Yeah.
So there's just like dusty, probably plastic leaves draped over all the places where your food is being prepped. It's not trustworthy. The screens that they get their orders from, I think they still use these.
Yes.
They're like, they look like something from the actual set of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
They paid like $600,000 for these in 1990, and they're not going to stop using them.
Right. It was such an investment.
Yeah.
They're tied to it. They're probably a lease, a 70-year lease.
I even remember. I remember when I worked at Pizza Hut, we had like some real old computer technology, and I just couldn't believe it still existed.
Here's me.
Yeah,
there's me.
That was the guy I was going to ask if that was you.
Not the guy they're showing right now, which is the mustachioed guy in the Iowa hat.
The mullet man.
Yeah, that mullet man. That's me right now. And. He's got some kind of like members only jacket. Right now, I would think that I could do that. I would say like, yeah, it's not like I don't actually look like a molester. I could go out there in like parachute pants and Back to the Future sneakers. That would be fine, right? No,
you gotta put that guy on the cover so everybody knows what you look like.
Yeah, I'll grab a screenshot of him. He's the man. I don't have the mustache, but otherwise, that man. Add about 40 pounds to him. That's me right now. Still harassing. This is still Ray Romano. Oh, I want to see that cup. They just showed a picture of a cup that had some sort of 80s cartoon on it. I want to know more about that.
I feel like that might have been.
To this point, they're still harassing the old Ray Romano man, who may be 26 or 46, but he remembers every second of this tournament.
And now he can live it over and over again on just filming a butt. I missed that too.
Steve's filming a butt.
He's filming a butt. Oh, man, look at this scumbag.
Yeah, the guy who runs the cutlery store is classic. He's he's like a scalper from an 80s movie that you wouldn't even bother watching if you were really tired. He has a really, really carved head of hair. And like, what are those things? So like, Steve really fixates on these things that look like bottle openers or like keychains or something like that. Of all the ninja weaponry and Braveheart blades, all the things in the store, he gets really hung up on these little bottle openers. To this day, I'd probably still have one of those like Big Boss Man bats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd ever have a cause to use it, but if I had an intruder in my home, if it was 2 a.m. and I saw like someone in my bedroom and I got up out of bed with a Big Boss Man billy club, I think I'd win. He would just be so surprised.
I bet there was stuff in that cutlery store that still hasn't sold to this day. Like whoever inherited all this shit still has it, because there's like Kempo sticks up there. No.
The landfill that's below the new building that's on this site.
Yeah.
So now we're getting towards the finale. So this is where I'm saying like it gets like Clerks, because all of a sudden like he gives you a really good little tour of what the restaurant looks like, and it gets kind of moody, and they're listening to Back in the Saddle. So, how are you on Aerosmith, Mike? Do you like Aerosmith?
No, definitely not.
They're cranking back in the saddle so loud that it actually sounds like the dude from Cinderella is singing. And Steve shows you his surfaces, and they're damn clean. Like everything, like earlier in the day, I would have never thought he could get it this nice. But Steve, single-handedly, has made this into a surgical theater of, clean steel. The floor is still gross. Fuck you, Steve. But we're wrapping up here, and this is what's important to note, is that all the way through this video, right, everybody has been nice to each other. They've been pals. They've been good-natured. Like a little bit of ribbing, but it's all in fun. Some skits. Some, it's all been so sweet and so pleasant. And then this.
Shut the fuck up. Fucking wetback.
Did you catch that?
No, I didn't. They didn't put it on the screen either. The caption didn't pop up.
Yeah. So this boy, who's been pretty good natured the whole way through this video, he's been upbeat, agreeable, joshing around with his friends.
Yeah.
Nothing bloodthirsty. Ends the video with a no bullshit racial slur.
And he uploaded this. He didn't say...
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I kind of want that to be like... So first of all, this video is a treasure. It's a gem. I'm glad it's there. Also, an adult knowingly uploaded a video and cut it there. Mm-hmm. He cut it exactly at the point when he said something gross. So he still thinks that's pretty funny.
So do you think... I mean, but the way I take it away is it was like kind of playful where... The guy knew he was calling him that? Is that true? Do you think that's true?
No. I think that when he got out of earshot, Steve or whoever was like behind the camera at that point was just letting his MAGA hat show.
The real Steve A, if you're listening to this, man. You should definitely cut that out. You should re-upload this and cut that
out. We're going to leave it in, though, when we, we put our commentary over this video and stick it on the Border Boss YouTube channel, which doesn't get used for much other than if you're an OG Border Boss fan, you may have watched listener Dave play around in the drive-thru of every Taco Bell within his locale. That's the only thing I've ever used the YouTube channel. But this is it. I'm going to start, putting this up, and when I gets yanked, I'm going to put it up again. So just check BorderBoss.rip.
BorderBoss and Friends.